Hey there. So in this video, I'm going to talk about a method that will help us understand the contribution of different ads platforms, different ad platform where you must be having some spends, and what is the impact and the contribution of these platforms on the gross revenue, or it could be gross profit, or any other way you want to measure the outcome. So obviously, it will be in terms of revenue, so it could be total revenue, or it could be in terms of profit, it could be gross profit or gross revenue. So this is a very simple data set. These are some dummy values, as you can see, gross sales. Then you have Facebook spend, and then you have Google non-branded plus Performance Max spend, and then branded search. So essentially, what has been done is the brand campaign or the branded Google campaign has been taken out separately, and then there's video. So these are some dummy input variables. We're trying to understand the contribution of each of these channels when all of these channels are taken together. This is important. That's how we are trying to understand it, not just in isolation, but also in tandem with the others. So what is their contribution to the gross sale? So gross sale here in this context would be called the outcome variable or the target variable. And these are our features or our input variables. So the most common way of understanding the contribution you might be thinking is to just look at dashboard numbers. And if you're already aware of that problem that in-app metrics cannot be trusted, then you might say, why not look at third-party attribution tools? They will probably tell us in a very simple way. I mean, we can just look at the dashboard and we can figure out how much each of these platforms is contributing to the gross sale or the gross sales or the gross revenue. The problem is that the conversion tracking systems are leaky. There's not enough trust in these platforms often, and it's a better idea to use something called a SHAP value. So that is what this video is going to be about. I'm going to explain what SHAP value is, but what I'm going to actually show you is an app that I've created. So you don't have to do all this calculation and running, the systems in the back end that is basically going on in the hindsight, behind the scenes, behind this app. But if you just take this app, this is a publicly created app, the first one that I've really created in the data space, and you can just use this, and yeah, you will get cracking with using SHAP value to do this. So let's see what SHAP value really is. So this is basically what SHAP value is from a platform, and I'll come back to this document later, but you can see here that all of these details has been outlined in the GitHub document. Let's just dive right into the app first and let's look at the outcome. So what we are really trying to do is basically understand feature importance. So just a while back, I spoke about two terms, right? I referred to gross sales as the target or the outcome variable, and these were called input variables or features, right? So that's basically machine learning parlance, uh, nothing else. So we are trying to understand the importance of each of these platforms, so each of these features essentially. And I've just created an app for it. This is the link for it. I'll share it with whoever wants to use it. So all you have to do here is basically upload your data set, and then it will start analyzing the feature importance using this thing called SHAP values. So let's understand what's going on here in terms of functionality. This data set has been uploaded here. As you can see, it's the same one. And then basically you have this option of choosing which of these features that you are really looking to understand this combination for. So you are trying to understand the contribution in combination, remember, with the other values. So here, deliberately, as you can see, I have put in the feature column section, I've also included cross sale. That was not supposed to be there, right? You must be wondering. And I've deliberately done that. I'll show you in a moment. But the gross sale, of course, is supposed to be the target column, right? So that's the column we are trying to predict. So this is basically a predictive system that's also going on in the backend. So it has to be understood in that context, like how exactly the predicted revenue is getting impacted by each of these individual features when seen in tandem or in association with the other features. So this is the feature importance mapping. So this is the visual representation that is going to give. There will be two simple visual representations. You can choose from here which of the features that you want to select. And you can see here that gross sale is dominating everything because you are basically trying to predict gross sale by using gross sale. I've deliberately kept this in the feature column just to make you understand easily. So I'll just take this away now and I will put video instead, which is the other input variable. And now you get the proper SHAP value representation. So basically, from the top to bottom here in the y-axis space, you can see what is having the highest impact. So Facebook actually got the highest impact. You can see from the bar chart as well, confirmation of that, that Facebook spend has the highest impact on the gross sales. So this representation actually has both negative and positive values of SHAP. And this one has only got the mean values or the mean, absolute values. So that's what this, this couple of straight lines really mean, or pipe symbols. So absolute value means that it's the value without the symbol. Without, if it is negative, it will just be positive. So Facebook spend has the highest impact, and followed by Google non-branded and PMAX according to this data set, followed by video and branded search on gross sales. Now, what do these points really mean? These points basically represent the individual data points for each of these features. So for instance, blue here, this blue point is an outlier of the Facebook spend here. And this is basically an individual data point. And whether or not the feature value is high, so that's basically the scale of the features values itself. So if it is very high in its own data set, then basically it will have a color which is closer to this pink or red, whatever it is. It's pink, I think. So that's what it will be closer to. If it's a very low value within its, comparatively within the values of that particular feature, in this case Facebook spend, then it will be closer to blue. So that's basically, what this does, and you can see how useful this is because in just one glance, you can understand how these different features are impacting or contributing to the revenue. And if you're not comfortable with this, you can also look at the bar chart, but this is very, very useful. Another way I'll just show you is called the waterfall chart. There are multiple ways to represent and to visualize SHAP values, but they're so useful in understanding the impact on model output. Now, let's actually look at what SHAP value is really about and how it is calculated. So I'll just give you a theoretical one, a visual one, as well as a slightly mathematical introduction. So there are some links that I'm using here, as you can see here, h2o.ai. So this has got a very nice article on SHAP values. And you can see here they have given the steps to calculating SHAP value, and this will actually give you a very good idea of what it really is. So you first have to create all the possible feature combinations. So see from my app here, you can actually see all the feature combinations can be created. So for instance, if I take out video, this is one combination. Okay. Suppose I take out brand search and then have video. This is another combination. For each of these combinations, you can see that this is going to change, right? The SHAP value impact. So basically, SHAP value is giving you the feature importance for the specific set of features at any given point of time. Now you have to take all of those possible feature combinations and then calculate the average model prediction. Okay, so what is the prediction? So you're obviously predicting the gross sale for each of these combinations. For instance, in this case, then you have to for each of these calculations, you have to calculate the difference between the model's prediction without a particular feature which you're interested in, and then the average prediction. And then you have to calculate the difference between the model's prediction with that feature this time and the average prediction. Okay. So this is, and when you take this difference, I hope you understand what I mean. So you're basically dropping that feature and including that feature. So everything else remaining the same in the coalition, in the set of all the feature combinations. So therefore, the difference of these two gives you how much that, that feature, if changed, or that particular feature changed the model's prediction from the average. That is basically called the marginal contribution of F. And then the SHAP value is basically going to be the average of all these values that you calculated in step 5. Okay, so average of all of that particular features, marginal contributions for all of the possible combinations that we're talking about. So that is basically SHAP value in a nutshell. I know that this can be complicated, but I'll just show you this particular book here. This is a very nice open learning book on machine learning, open source book on machine learning, and there's going to be a mathematical formula. I'm coming back to that, but I'll just show you the waterfall chart. We saw two charts here, two very useful charts. One is this distribution, which includes the negative values as well. And then there's the bar value. But let's look at the waterfall chart, and this will be even easier to understand. So we start with three things. We start with the SHAP value themselves, the base value, and then the actual data. So suppose, this is basically the data for different feature points, right? And you can see that E of fx, this is basically the average, okay, of that particular feature output. So this is the average, and you can see for this value of this particular feature, the average of the output is getting increased by plus 0.02. This is getting increased by 0.04. This is getting decreased. The impact of this particular one, which is, when the price is 15.5, it is getting decreased by 0.14. So this is basically, the representation of the impact of these features through SHAP values. These, in fact, represent your SHAP values here. Okay, so as you can see, this is Python code for the waterfall chart, which has basically plotted the SHAP values in this format. So you can read from here that each of these decrease, some of these decrease, some of these increase, and the summation of the SHAP values is basically where we'll get the total impact on the prediction. So that's basically the useful way of looking at SHAP value is, that's the utility of SHAP value. This is another one you can see where, this is the mathematical representation of SHAP values, where basically the predicted value for the data point X is, the predicted value for the data point X minus the average predicted value. That is basically going to give you your summation of all the SHAP values. Okay, so this is another mathematical representation of it, and if you don't understand, we can discuss it later. But this, I'll leave the links, and if you want to dive even deeper, you can actually look at the GitHub documentation on SHAP, and it tells you how you can install it if you are interested in the Python code and everything. It again gives you different kinds of charts here. This is precisely the kind of chart that we looked at. This is the kind of representation. This is the bar chart, and it goes on to discuss different ways of utilizing a SHAP value and all of that. So if you are interested in that, you can take a look at this document. This is the waterfall chart again that we were discussing just a while back. So if you want to look at this, you can do that. But the whole point of this video is to actually introduce you to this app that I've created. It's just a drag and drop app, or plug and play, ready for you to use. Just upload your data set in this format. Get your input variables, which is basically the different channels ad spends for a particular period, and then you also add your output or outcome variable, target variable, which could be sales or revenue or profit, and then just upload it, and you'll be good to go. It will, you'll be able to choose which of the features that you want to collectively select. What is the collective impact of these channels? That's the question that you should be asking. And then you can just visualize it here, and you will know that what is the relative importance. So the obvious takeaway from this is you can use this app to decide where to allocate your spend more, because this is going to give you a very good indication of which of the channels combination with others is having the highest impact. So you can know then the relative distribution of budgets among those channels. So that's basically what this is about, and I'll share the app with whoever is asked for it. I'm going to be posting it on LinkedIn as well. So yeah, I mean, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've got any kind of questions, just leave that in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.